Hello and welcome to Hold My Popcorn. I'm Max Daly in Nashville. With us in Boston's Tim Begin. How are you, Timmy boy?
Doing great, Max. I was just showing you guys there's a non-alcoholic version of Guinness, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to be drinking enough non-alcoholic Guinness to make it alcoholic. So, good.
And over in Portland, Maine, we got Bill Dooley. How are you, Billy boy?
I'm doing all right, although my cat is currently chewing on the power cord of my... Can you go away, please? All right, there we go. Don't want him to chew through the power cord of my work laptop while I'm doing this, so I'm good now. He's gone.
Priorities, though. I'd rather have him just bite the work laptop. Doesn't affect me as much.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, we're now midway through our 007 debut series, but in reverse order, as we watched Timothy Dalton's first of two appearances as James Bond in 1987's The Living Daylights. Pretty stupid name for a good movie.
I don't understand the name at all.
Besides,
no idea.
Like he at one point in the movie, I think he said like scared the living daylights out of me or something like that. And like, oh, there's the title.
Yeah, it was a title of a short story by Ian Fleming. That's why.
Oh.
But even then, the short story.
Okay.
You really got to be a Bond head to like get that.
Yeah.
I feel like most people don't realize Ian Fleming wrote James Bond. Like
I gotta be honest. I didn't know that James Bonds were books until like we started this series. I just thought that this was a movie franchise.
Nope.
Wrong.
What am I gonna do?
Wrong.
Read?
Can't believe I'm the one telling you about books.
Have either of you ever seen this before?
I saw it a while ago.
I have never even seen a Timothy Dalton Bond movie. I didn't know how many he did. This was good. It was, especially in comparison to the garbage we watched last time.
Yeah.
I mean, this was pretty good. It's still absurd, but it was way more enjoyable.
It's more of a spy movie than like a cheesy action movie like GoldenEye was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Much more like an actual Bond movie.
I mean, it like very absurd moments, but like in general, like there's a lot more grounding in this story.
Nothing's insane. There's nothing like insane about this movie.
Well.
Besides the entire car.
Yeah, that's
all right,
pretty
fine.
good. I mean, the ending with the plane is pretty outrageous.
No. You don't understand. There's nothing like they didn't like fly to Mars, you know, in some like weird like silvery suit, and the woman was, you know, like, you know, walking around in a what looked like a space blanket bikini or something like that. Like there wasn't shit like that. It wasn't like Moonraker. Insane.
So this is the thing too. Like I feel like the tone trajectory of the Bond movies are out of order. Like the cheesy Pierce Brosnan movies. Did I say it right? Brosnan. God damn it. Brosnan. Yeah. Pierce Brosnan. They would have fit better with like the campy Roger Moore movies, and then this Dalton movie would have fit much better going like transitioning into the Daniel Craig movies. Like
yes,
he's basically like a watered down Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah.
When I say watered down, just he's not like a psycho serial killer.
Right.
It's not as dark. It's not dark.
No.
But I will say, like, he's probably the most respectful Bond. He's probably the most respectful Bond. And I would say woke Bond. Because
I'd love to hear this. Please explain to me how he is woke in this movie.
I mean, as I'm not saying like in today's standards, but like as far as James Bond,
by James Bond standards,
by James Bond standards, he's really nice to her.
Yeah, they only did. I mean, for Moneypenny, they only did an ADR ass slap. He didn't actually even do that.
Right, exactly, and she was asking for it.
Oh my
Moneypenny
God.
wanted that. You know, Moneypenny wanted
mouth open,
that.
waiting for it.
Yeah. Like most Moneypenny scenes in the James Bond franchise, she's just like, she's making a couple of cheeky jokes, and then James Bond is just like, whoop, thumb up the ass. You know?
By the way, do you guys think, so thus far at least, I mean, do you think Dalton is the best looking Bond?
Of the three that we've watched so far?
Yeah.
No, Daniel Craig is.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember the scene where he walks out of?
Well, body's different.
That's different.
Yeah, he's like ripped. His body's amazing. Yeah, for sure. Handsome though. Best looking. I think I give it to Brosnan still.
I think he's definitely the best Bond in a tuxedo. He looks fantastic in a tux compared to Brosnan, who looked like a bobblehead.
All right, that's fine. That's more of a tailoring issue.
Yeah.
It's more of a neck width issue.
Yeah.
Well, and the giant poofy hair that he had going on as well. Yeah. Not a great look, but I can look back past that and see he's got the real potential there. Timothy Dalton's got this weird thing going on with his mouth where like I feel like if it wouldn't take too much for him to become like Jim Carrey's The Grinch, just like upturned, crazy.
He does have a weird smile.
Yes.
Yeah, like a lipless smile.
Dude, they made like Hot Fuzz. They made an entire movie about his smile.
I know that he's in Hot Fuzz. I've never seen it though.
Yeah, he's in Hot Dude. Watch Hot Fuzz. First of all, it's a very funny movie, but yeah, like his entire role in that movie is to smile weirdly. So yeah.
So I mean, I've been watching Doom Patrol, and he's on that. So I've been like looking forward to watching these, just because I haven't seen either of his movies and thoroughly enjoyed it.
His second movie is weird.
Yeah, and I'm talking like the first like 30 minutes of License to Kill, and it was not as good.
It's not as good at all.
It takes a steep decline, like right off the bat.
It's like a bad version of fucking 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and like Moonraker smashed together. It's just not good.
Yeah, I heard it's kind of a little too gritty. Like there's like rape and murder and stuff in it. And it's just like it's a little too hard.
Yeah, and there's a guy, the head explodes and you see it.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then they went
late
to
80s.
They went to Mongolia so they could actually blow that guy's head off for real. Apparently not a law there.
So I'm going to give a little backdrop again to old Timmy D here. So like in an alternate world, he could have been the benchmark for Bond because they asked him to be Bond after Connery left in 1969, but Dalton was 23 at the time, and he thought he was too young for the role, so he declined. So then they went to Lazenby for that one movie, and then they offered him the role again for Diamonds Are Forever in 71, but he turned it down again, saying that he was too young. And then they offered him the role again in 1981, and he turned it down because they didn't have a script. And then they offered him the role again in 83 and 1985, with him declining.
Oh my God. Why? Jesus Christ. So like he really just didn't want to do Bond.
So the last two times he had like prior obligations, and I think he's just like such an actor's actor. He's like, I can't play Bond at like, in my 20s. He's a guy who's in his 40s. So when they offered him the role, he was 41 when he finally took it. So he thought like that was like an appropriate age.
Yeah. He got bit by a tick over there that apparently makes you allergic to money. So I think that was a problem,
Jesus Christ.
But like I was talking about last week too, that Dalton, he was still game to play Bond as late as 1994. So like in an alternate universe, this guy who was like the second shortest tenured Bond ever could have been the Bond from like 1969 to 1994.
Yeah, apparently they really wanted him.
Like this entire time they wanted him, and then they finally got him, and then they got into legal trouble and he dropped out. It's like they had him literally for 2 years. He was Bond.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we get the familiar gun barrel intro followed by this great cold open where we have 002, 004, and 007 skydiving into Gibraltar, as our history teachers say, for this training exercise with 002 getting captured immediately after crash landing in a tree, while 004 falls to his death after his rope is cut by an assassin.
Do we know why this assassin was trying to kill them? Was this like... there are a lot of twists and turns in this movie, and I had a difficult time.
I think so. I think the George Koskov was setting the stage by killing a couple of 00s so that when he got extracted and he sold the British the story that General Pushkin had sent out an order to kill secret agents, that there would be some weight behind it because some secret agents had already died.
Death to all agents is what they left on the tag for 004 when he dies. And they do that again later.
They're trying to set up the guy from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Wait. Who's from Indiana Jones?
The General
Pushkin. He's Sala.
Yeah, he's
Oh my
Sala.
God, you're right. He is Sala. Wow, I didn't think. Yeah, all right. That's right. All right, very cool. I just
I
what
thought.
are they doing? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say he eventually kind of became a good guy, and I'm like, you can't have Sala be a bad guy.
No. I wrote that down at one point. I'm like, there's no way Sala's a bad guy in this movie.
Yeah,
Like after he
he's
met
too
with like, the
likable.
weapons dealer, I'm like, he's still not the bad guy. He can't be.
Hey, he's too likable.
It's
So
weirdly like this movie is like the beginning of America and Russia. You know, tying the olive branch, getting things like, because Russia's really not the bad guy in this movie. There's a guy from Russia who's an asshole, but he's all about himself. It's like the Russians are kind of cool in this movie.
Yeah.
The Americans like the real bad guy in it. The whole thing.
Koskov and Whitaker, yeah.
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 So going back to like we were talking about just how clumsy some of these people are. So is Bond like the only suave 00 agent? Because like the first guy who crashes in a tree gets shot by a dude who's in like a 2-foot bush.
Yes.
Yep.
And then the other dude who's like hiking up that mountain, like that thing would not have held him all the way up. That dude was gonna die regardless.
I mean, when they act the scene where
It's
they
like a pebble
said
that
where
he it around.
where he throws up the grappling hook.
Yeah.
I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, that thing is sliding off. Like before they cut the scene, it was still moving.
That would have been
And I
hilarious if he throws it, he misses, and then it just goes crashing down and kills him on impact.
Yeah.
I can't. What are they doing? They're doing like some war game kind of activity, right? Like
Yeah, training
they're
exercise.
practicing. Those two agents suck.
Rough.
I mean, the guy that throws the grappling hook up gets killed, but like, why did they even cut the rope? There's like the grappling hook is barely, like you said, barely touching the rock. Just like give it a little nudge and he's dead.
See ya.
And like
Right.
anybody could have done that. That is not a sneaky way to get around. Throwing grappling hooks around and climbing up these giant rock faces. That's
No.
what you do for like recreation. It's not sneaky.
No.
It was in broad daylight in Gibraltar. It's like
Big
one of the
parachute.
sunniest places on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all land in parachutes and like quickly wrap up their parachutes. It's like, dude, you fucking fell from the sky with a giant parachute. If anyone saw it, you're on the ground. Like at this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. If you're in a military zone, they're going to see that airplane with 3 people jumping out of it.
Yeah.
Made no
like-
sense.
Elton John in the closet was better disguised than than this.
What did Dalton do in this? Like, I don't even understand how he got away. How did he not get killed?
So
Did they attack him? I can't even remember.
I think he landed in like an enclosed area. I mean, only
Oh.
the assassin only got one guy because
Yes.
the guards shot the other dude with a paintball gun.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay.
The fake Roger Moore. So they did that on purpose too. They based these 2 guys off of George Lazenby and Roger Moore, with Lazenby being the goofy guy.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. But
Will you
also,
get out of here, cat? Unbelievable.
the other time, like, Tim was trying to make his like Seattle Supersonics reference. This is what I came up with. So the 00 agents, if they were a team, they'd be the 90s Detroit Lions, and James Bond would be Barry Sanders.
Yes.
He's just
Okay.
like, they are a 1 in 15 team without him. He's given them at least 5 or 6 wins every year
Yep.
on his own. All right. So then we get the first look at Timothy Dalton, who immediately gets attacked by a monkey before chasing the assassin on top of this Range Rover, ultimately leading to the bad guy crashing his car off a cliff and exploding, while Bond parachutes his way into this French hottie's yacht, where he takes her phone and a glass of champagne before banging her and tossing her in the trash.
Oh my God. Loved it. What a scene. She's sitting there.
So
She's like,
good.
there are no real men. There's all tennis pros and hot rodders. I need a real man. James falls in. Might as well just like fallen in, insert his dick into her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then just nothing but a jawline and a butt chin appears. It's like, oh my
Yeah,
God, who are
exactly.
you?
Right.
The most nonchalant James Bond ever, though. He's just like, who are you? Bond, James Bond. Let me see your phone.
Right. Better make that 2 hours. Oh, James. You got to get better at your timing, man. I get that done in 5 minutes.
Also, one of your agents just died, so maybe
Yes.
don't have 2 hours of sex right now. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm not James Bond, probably for a reason. So
All the 00 agents are sociopaths. They don't give a shit.
It's like, I don't like the guy anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody told him to climb up that big ass cliff. I don't know what the fuck the guy was thinking.
Glad he's dead. More sex for me.
We're gonna have an orgy later, but now it's just gonna be me.
Yeah.
I also like how that assassin is still steering the car as he's like crashing in midair. Like that's gonna do anything. As we all just steering at the same time. And then also, I guess this was like the first scene that Dalton did, and he did most of the stunts in the scene too. Like he was on top of that car for most of it.
Oh, really?
Which is good for kudos.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, and then we get the title sequence with the song "The Living Daylights" by Aha.
It was Aha? I thought it was Bowie.
Yeah, it was Aha.
Yeah.
Living Daylights. Yeah, I'm a sucker for 80s music. This is definitely better than the Tina Turner one.
Well, I don't know about that.
I have to be honest, Max. I thought it was. My note was it was the single worst James Bond intro I've ever seen.
The intro itself was horrible. It made no sense. It had nothing to do with the plot of the movie. I rewatched it. It's just like a girl with a gun that's like pointing somebody in the water. I'm like, there's no water in this movie. They're in the fucking desert for most of the third act of the movie.
Yep.
Whatever. All right. So then we cut to Soviet Czechoslovakia Opera House, where Bond is assigned to help this stiff named Saunders with the defection of a KBG general named Georgy Koskov, who plans to escape during the intermission. But then Bond notices that this cello player, who has a sniper rifle fixed on Koskov, isn't holding the gun properly. So Bond deduces that she isn't a real assassin and shoots the rifle out of her hand, saving her life.
What a fucking squib that other guy was in this whole thing.
Saunders?
Saunders.
Yeah, Saunders is such a pussy.
Well, like, who is he? Is he another 00 agent or?
He's the Vienna station chief.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's a real nerd.
Yeah.
He grew on me, though. Like, he is such a stiff in the beginning, but then once he kind of warms up Bond, he gets a little bit better right before he dies.
Oh, right. Well, that scene before he dies was sort of like, you know, them going like, hey, you're not too bad, Saunders. You're not too bad either, James. Hey.
Boom.
Well, once he realized that he was a real beta and James Bond is a real alpha and he's just like following his every order, then Saunders becomes okay. It's when he's questioning James Bond. You're like, who the fuck are you, nerd? Shut up. You don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Saunders did have a point about because like James had no idea this cellist was going to play such a key role in this entire movie. He was just looking at the tail there. He's just looking for some tail there. And Saunders, can we stay focused on this fucking secret agent mission?
Also, quite the bulky 80s sniper rifle.
Oh my God. That thing looked like it weighed 180 pounds.
It looked like a super soaker.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Dude, like the optics on that thing, the scopes alone probably weighed, I don't know, more than, never mind.
It was good, like at least half the length of her body.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, the sniper rifle she had.
Oh, that's what I was
we were talking about the sniper rifle James had.
Oh.
Yeah,
her gun was massive too.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, she would have fallen right off that fucking building if that was a real sniper rifle. That thing was way too heavy for her to pick up.
I also love that. I mean, like he didn't shoot her in the face. That is nice. But like shooting the gun out of her hand, it's pretty lucky that didn't kill her as well. Like didn't you know, blow off a hand, cover her face in shrapnel. You know.
Nope.
God,
zero injury.
All the wood chips explode in her face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
She's got like a cat scratch on her forearm that we see later, and like somehow that's the only thing that happened when a gun blew up in her hand. You know, like
she panics. She panics, falls off the building, like paralyzes herself, and Bond's like, "Oh, shit,
Saunders, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Why did you just shoot her? I don't know, man.
That'd have been like an Austin Powers, you know.
My first day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, then Bond gets Koskov across the border via a literal pipeline to the west, but not without some motorboating help from this burly Soviet engineer.
Oh my God. I immediately thought, this is the second movie in a row we've had a Tim doppelganger. And that was me, the boss.
when she walks in, like, I mean, this is a big beefy girl. When she walks in wearing that overall onesie, pant
overalls.
top thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically, I wish I could find a way to just like search that when I go to Pornhub, because that's it. That's the dream.
Onesie.
Yeah, on a like a 6'2", 350-pound linebacker of a woman. Yeah. That's it.
Onesie death by smush smush. I think that's what you have to type in.
Honestly, man, this kind of just proves, I think, how guys don't really care at the end of the day, because just stabbed myself with a hook. This is how guys don't really care at the end of the day, because like she, unzipped those overalls, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'd do it.
Sure. Yep. The only thing I'm looking at. There isn't one of us here who we're sitting in our office. She walks in, unzips it, starts going. Not one of us here, I guarantee it, would stop her.
Although the thought that I had too is that like she unzips, goes up, shoves his face into her tits, and just like shakes it around for like 15 seconds, and then she walks away indignant, like, I'm not that kind of girl. And like my immediate reaction was like, well, that's an absurd, ridiculous, like, like he would of course question what happened there, what was that about? And then I had thought about it again, like, no, he probably wouldn't. Like, he just count his blessings. He's not going to complain to anyone. Maybe it might happen again. Like,
maybe she does this every hour on the hour, and it's just normal.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right. That was kind of weird. Yeah. The whole building kind of shook for a few seconds there when it was happening, but everything's fine now.
He would, like any red-blooded man, he would have gone to the bathroom, taken care of business, come back out and did his job.
Fire the lady. Now that I've came, you're fired.
That's a good point. Yeah, once you get that like moment of clarity.
Moment of clarity. That was wildly inappropriate.
Yeah, looks at all the charts. Wait a minute, the water pressure is at 150? What the fuck?
Yeah.
2 days later, he'd be calling her back up. You know what? We actually have that position still open if you want to come back in. That's right.
I'm kind of horny. You want to start working here again?
I was actually going to say, go like kind of along the same line, just like in this, that woman, the lead woman in the sniper rifle, that's kind of like Soviet casting couch. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, you want to like progress in the arts, you have to go talk to Harvey Weinstein. No,
it really is. Like, yeah.
No, you have to go shoot somebody in the face.
Yeah, go kill his KGB general, who's also your boyfriend.
KGB.
What'd I say? KBG. Yeah. Whatever. Who cares?
KBB, Kelly Blue Book value.
KB Toys.
Yep.
Also, not the first time that a pair of tits are going to work as a diversion in this movie.
No, oh boy, and it's not even the best one. Yeah.
All right. So also the pipeline.
Time out.
Yes.
I really need to pee. I'm not going to make it anywhere near the end of this podcast, so I'm going to
pee on your cat.
Go.
Okay, so going back into the movie here, just gotta say, for this pipeline, it goes straight to Q. I am shocked that none of his people like tripped on explosive, like, shoelaces or like poisonous bubble gum or something.
Oh, yeah, dude,
he was. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the fact that whole thing worked out was kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah,
I was expecting like there to be some hiccup that killed the guy.
Yeah. Oh, shit. These are the wrong stairs. It just turns into a slide. They all just fall right back into the pipe.
Right.
Shouldn't have installed these. Also, good on Desmond for remembering his lines in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. It was but he looked like exactly the same.
Yes.
I mean, there's like a decade almost in between, right? And like he's the exact same person.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
He has not aged. He came out like that. Came out of his mother's womb like that.
After this, we're introduced to the new Miss Moneypenny, who I think has a crush on James.
Yeah.
Are you getting that signal? It was kind of subtle.
I kind of got that vibe a little bit. The whole licking her lips, drooling, putting her glasses down,
She like straight up invited him to fuck her, didn't it was not subtle even a little bit.
No. See,
no.
I think the thing that killed Bond's boner there is just Barry Manilow. It's like, you had me up until you said Barry Manilow.
Right. Go back to my place and listen to Barry Manilow. No.
Ew,
fucking loser.
I also thought it was funny that like James Bond mentioned some like classical symphony by some classical composer, and she's like, "Oh, you like music, James? Why don't you come back and listen to Barry Manilow?" It's like he just mentioned like fucking Stravinsky's Fourth Symphony, and you said Barry Manilow. What the fuck are you doing?
Not good.
Yeah.
Also not good. We're introduced to the Ghetto Blaster.
Yes.
No.
It's not problematic at all.
I forgot
Something
about
we're
that.
developing for the Americans. We call it the Ghetto Blaster. And then he basically skips to it. He is so excited about it.
So fucked.
Yikes. Yeah, yikes. I forgot about that. That was rough.
Yep. Apparently, Prince Charles and Princess Diana were on set that day, and Prince Charles is the one who like hit the button for that explosion too, to the Ghetto Blaster.
That makes sense.
Probably elbowed Princess Diana. Ghetto Blaster. Isn't that funny, Pip? Isn't that funny, Poppy, or something like that? Whatever the fucking Pep names they
Whatever the
call
fuck
each
your
other
name
over
is.
yeah, over in England.
Yeah. All right, then we cut to an MI6 safe house where Koskov tells the Brits that the new head of the KGB, General Pushkin, has gone mad with power, which is very shocking because Russian leaders are usually very passive. And Pushkin has reinstated the old policy of death to all spies, which on cue, this KGB assassin named Necros infiltrates the safe house disguised as a milkman, killing several agents with either a Walkman wire or explosive milk before abducting Koskov.
So I wasn't mistaken in that. Some of his milk bottles were bombs?
Yeah, they were, yep.
And some of them were just actual real milk that people were drinking.
Yeah.
Because you see the guy drinking milk as he hits the siren.
I love, there's like a butler that comes in at one point and like really goes like almost
Secret
wins the
agent
fight
butler,
against
man.
him.
Spoiler alert, that is my favorite character of this movie, is that old butler. That dude had fucking held his ground. He was beating the shit out of like that 25-year-old German Olympian fucking like
assassin.
Yeah. Well, I got the sense that like everyone who worked at this safe house is like a fucking secret agent.
Yeah, but like that old man, I was very surprised by that because he just like knocks out like 4 or 5 people, just kills them immediately. And then like the oldest, dustiest, skinniest looking dude in the whole house comes in and starts just like throwing haymakers and is like knocking the dude down. We're like, holy shit.
After his side of his face got grilled too, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good too. They had the scorch marks on the face. I gotta say,
he ducks
though,
that boiling water too.
Oh, that was the thing that was so disappointing to me, is like that boiling water was sitting in the picture frame for like 45 seconds of this fight. I'm like, oh, that was it. Nope. Is it now? Nope. And then he picks it up and does the girliest throw and it misses. And I'm like, oh, come on. Hit somebody with some boiling water.
Russians don't know how to throw, Bill. They don't play any throwing sports.
They don't play base. Yeah. If you put it at the end of a hockey stick, he probably would have got it right where he wanted to.
This guy was like a classical dancer by trade. So, I mean, did you see how he was walking later on holding that gun? Just doing like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all shoulder strut.
In Afghanistan, too, he was wearing some skin-tight blue jeans, and his butt looked good.
Yeah.
Looked good.
This is the 80s. This is like the 80s. The most masculine man is the most feminine man.
Yes. He paints his nails.
Yeah.
That guy, though, Necros, if you think he looks familiar, he's also in Die Hard. He's Carl's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Who had like the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses, who's like, who gets killed and he has the all the Christmas wires taped around him in the elevator. Same dude.
Yeah. I thought that was him.
Yep. Also, that parrot that they show multiple times. Apparently, that parrot is in From Your Eyes Only.
Okay. I recognize them, actually. I thought that was the same parrot.
I had to look it up. I'm like, why the fuck are they showing this parrot so much? Like, it was just like a full dedicated shot of just a parrot in like multiple shots.
Did they have to do it? Like, were they contractually obligated to put that parrot in another movie or something?
I don't know why they had the parrot in this movie.
It was weird, and now it's weirder now that the parrot is like a noteworthy parrot.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess doesn't, like, parrots live for like 75, 80 years, don't they?
Parrots outlive their owners, man.
I wonder if like a lot of parrots you see in the movie are like repeat parrots.
Maybe.
Find a good parrot, man. Why are you going to let it go?
If you got a parrot that can like act in movies, yeah, you probably keep that thing around for 50 years. Oh, I want to know about famous parrots now. Famous parrots.
that Polly one, the movie Polly. I'm sure Captain Hook had one. Who else?
Yeah, definitely had a famous parrot.
What are some other famous parrots?
No, I don't want to know. Like, I want to know parrots that have starred in a lot of
Iago.
movies. That's Iago. Yeah. Whose voice is Iago? What's that guy's name?
Gilbert Godfrey.
Gilbert Godfrey. He also
Godfrey.
plays Polly in the movie Polly. He also plays a parrot in that movie.
Well, he sounds like a parrot.
God, he's the most annoying voice on the planet. I saw the movie when I was a kid. We walked out of the theater. It was the first movie I walked out of. I was like 7. I'm like, I'm done. Parents are like, thank God.
Done. Parents had earplugs in.
Okay, so M orders Bond to kill Pushkin. Then we get more Q hijinks with a guy getting eaten alive by a couch while Q just laughs and sits down.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when that guy just got completely devoured by that couch.
Why don't you have a seat? Couch inverts itself and Q. Yeah, MJ or Q just sits down like got another one.
Honestly, like Q's lab is like secret agent Hogwarts, and he's Dumbledore, where he's just like putting all his students into fucking danger at 24/7. He's like, "Come over here! I have a new flamethrower to test."
Stand still.
Yeah.
Yep. Then Bond learns that the cello player named Kara is not a KGB agent. She had blanks in her sniper rifle. Jesus. Sniper rifle. And sniper rifle. She had blanks in her sniper rifle. That's what James said too. to Moneypenny, who loved every second of it. And then Koskov, she's also Koskov's girlfriend. And Bond suspects that old Georgie set the whole defection and abduction up. So he tells Kara that he's a friend of his and convinces her to go with him to Vienna to find Koskov.
Yeah, she buys into that pretty quickly. Didn't take a whole lot of convincing.
Not the
casting
sharpest tool
couch,
in the
man.
shed.
Casting couch. He said he was going to put me in the symphony if I did this for him. Yeah, right.
He said I would be first chair.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy.
You're gonna
honestly
be at the symphony.
Yeah. Honestly, I looked at, like, there are multiple times in this movie where I'm thinking, like, was the casting note for this actress, like, find the woman that looks most like a baby deer, like a helpless baby deer, because she kind of does. Like, half the time she's looking at Bond, she looks like some baby deer whose mom died.
Yeah, a lot of blank stares from her.
Yeah,
mouth open.
She has some really like polar opposite moments in this movie too, where like she could really be very helpful and does absolutely nothing, and other times where it's like, how did she manage to do that? Like she's like he has that struggle in the jail cell. She literally just stands there and does nothing while Bond is being choked. And then later on, she's on horseback and fist fights a guy
with a fucking machine gun on a horse shooting tanks. It's like, where the fuck was that 10 minutes ago?
Right, exactly.
So, what do you guys think of her overall,
Babe.
though?
Babe.
Yeah?
As the character or the actress?
Both.
Are you asking me about, like, her attractiveness or just, like, her being a human?
Performance followed, or just her looks followed by her performance.
Oh, performance is, I think, probably what perhaps they were looking for, which is her to be like some helpless kind of idiot. She was good looking. I
she's
her.
Right.
She's a babe.
I'd never seen her in anything. I was kind of curious. I'm like, she's just doesn't really look like a Bond girl compared to some of these other people. I'm like, is she an actual like cello, like a cellist or something? Like, is she like a prodigy or something? She's not. I mean, she looked like she did a pretty good job playing the cello though. She passes as like a musician and she has a really good accent and she's British. So I'll give her credit for those two. Like I think for what they were looking for, she did a pretty good job. But the character itself, like you guys said, is just kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like she was a bad actress. I think it's just the character was just kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's like There's one specific moment that kind of stood out that was like, oh, that was kind of bad delivery. Like, it took me out of the movie for a second. It's like a random exchange. It's when they were in Vienna and they like got out of the concert, and it was just like, ugh, that didn't work for me. Other than that, like, there wasn't anything that she really did. There were moments where like the line was like, oh, I rolled my eyes because like, but it's the words. It's not really the way it was delivered. I think she was fine as an actress.
Yeah, it's a 65-year-old British man writing the dialogue for this 22-year-old lady.
Right.
So it's just, yeah. All right, well, this leads into the car chase and laser show on the frozen lake that ends with Bond and Kara sledding across the border on her cello case.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that got Bill's attention that he was texting us today about it.
There's humor in Bond movies always, and there's some good lines that make me laugh, but these was just absurd. I mean, when he cuts the car in half with a laser from the hubcap of and she asks, what happened? And he says, salt corrosion. I almost fell off my chair. I mean, that is just hilarious. The getting away sledding down the hill in a cello case. Oh, beautiful. Using the cello as like a rudder to steer. Magnificent. Just such quality art right there. So good.
I love that, like, before that, when they have to, like, go back to get her case or whatever, and Bond is, like, super pissed off about it, and he's, like, helping her put it in the back seat, and he, like, looks, like, legitimately angry. He's, like, grabs it out of her hand, like, shoves it in, and he just goes, when do you learn the violin?
That's right. That was good. Well, and then later, when he's about to sled down the hill, he said, I'm glad I convinced you to pick this up, or something like that. He's, like, completely taking credit. Well, and then they, when they're out on the lake and the tire gets shot off the car, so he then cuts a perfect circle with the hubcap, cutting through the ice to sink the other car. And then does he use a rocket from the back of his car so that he can shoot up over the ice?
From the front bumper, he has rockets there.
Oh, yeah. No, he has bombs, rockets that blow up a tractor trailer. By the way, so Russian to block a road with a tractor trailer instead of like, I don't know, like sawhorses or spikes to block the, I don't know. Let's just grab this trucker and have him go across the road. No, he uses a rocket from the back of the car, right? To launch the car over, like off of like a dock and a ramp to jump over everyone. And that's how he ends up going crashing downhill in the snow.
Not only was there a rocket, the car had like bobsled blades on it.
Yep.
Yes.
Had skis.
Yeah.
The car had skis.
Yeah. It was like Q, who designed the car, was like understood exactly the sequence of operations that he was going to need to get away in this exact. It was like he's a fucking savant. He's like the kid from Game of Thrones who can like, see into the future.
Q is like taking spice from the Dune universe to see forward in time.
Right.
One of my favorite parts of all this, though, is that like during all this drive, they're like driving through the woods, and Kara has a map. Like a casual. It's like, so you have lasers and bombs on your car, but you still need to use a fucking map.
Yeah, man.
He just throws a map in her face too. And where does this road go? You're like,
we're the woods.
This is a dirt road.
Vienna.
When was the last time you saw a road sign? Like, what road
I'm not even
are we
from
on?
this country. This is in a different language. All of that. I'm like, what the fuck?
I like how the border too. Like the border wasn't even on the road. They didn't like the border. The border stop. I mean, I guess this is just Austria, right? Because people like to ski around there. But it was like the border wasn't even on a road. The border was just like in the middle of a field.
No objection either.
They slid right by and just say we have nothing to declare.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's how World War II. That's how Austria was.
No reaction from the Austrian border patrol to the skiing Soviets with AK-47s chasing after these people and firing at them.
Right. Yeah, you clearly hear explosions because they blew the car up too right before they jumped on the cello case. It's like this guy's been hearing, he's probably seen smoke bombs all over the place. He's just like, all right, you're good. You're good.
Just top to bottom, an amazing sequence of events in this movie. It doesn't get any more outrageous than that from this movie.
It's wonderful. All right, and then we cut to Tangier, where Pushkin tells a stolen valor American arms dealer, Brad Whitaker, that he's canceling the arms deal that Georgie had set up. So, second straight movie with Joe Don Baker.
Yeah, but he's a completely different
guy.
character. It's kind of threw me.
Yeah.
Still an American, but...
I was so confused by this whole thing. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, did they forget this guy is from Texas? And they cast him as a fucking Moroccan general? Because I was sitting there, I'm like, I don't understand it. And then they kind of explain it, but then I'm still like, but why is he in a Moroccan fatigues? Like, is he some... I'm like, I don't...
He's a cosplayer, that's why.
Yeah, he's not really military.
They call him out on it, too. What's his name?
Pushkin,
yeah. He's like, you got expelled from West Point. It's like, what military service were you in?
You were like a mercenary for kind of a while, and that's it. You suck.
Yep. Calling him out. Stolen valor! All right, and then we get the plot twist that Koskov is actually the villain, and he's in cahoots with Whitaker, and he's been playing the Brits in order to have Bond kill Pushkin.
It's a long con. It's a very long con.
Typical Bond villain.
Yeah.
Move right there.
This one was especially complicated. Like, this whole web of things was especially complicated.
Wait until you get to Afghanistan. It's just like, I just start, like, I kind of got glaze over at that point. I'm like, what's happening now? What is all this? Diamonds and fucking opium and like, what?
So that's movie. Just it. Yeah, I mean, maybe at the end of the movie we can try and summarize the thought process and plan of Koskov and Whitaker, because it takes a lot of turns. I'm not exactly sure how we ended up at the beginning of this movie. Like, were they sitting around smoking opium and somehow and that's how they concocted this roundabout way of selling opium to get money? I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to try and revisit this.
I will say though, Koskov getting his inner thigh rubbed with sunscreen and moaning is like one of the best reintroductions to a Bond villain ever. I fucking loved that scene. I don't know if you guys even remember it. It is
he's
so...
By the pool,
he's sitting by the pool and he's just going,
I do remember, yes.
He's like making out with one girl, the other girl's just rubbing sunscreen in one spot in his inner thigh over and over again.
One of my favorite things in movies is seeing makeout scenes or kiss scenes where you can tell that one of the people really, really is not interested in having to kiss that other person. And there is some real good examples of that in this scene where that girl is just kind of peck on the cheek, perhaps.
You said I was gonna be a Bond girl. You are technically a Bond girl,
right? She was just not happy of having to kiss that fucking weirdo.
No,
hilarious.
Loved it.
He stole one of the girls' hats and shoved her in the pool, right?
yeah.
That got me laughing. That was
great.
Funny.
It's such a dick. Yeah, so not a lot happens for the next 20 minutes besides Bond falling in love with Kara. But you do get this quote where Bond leads in for a kiss and she kind of pushes back and he says, "Don't think, just let it happen."
Yeah. Oh no.
Woo!
Did they fuck on that Ferris wheel? Is that the understanding there?
No, because they go back down, they're still making out, and then everyone's laughing at them.
Right.
Okay.
So
all right.
I don't think he was able to. You never know. You might have been able to get it in, get his tux back on in time. Zip it through the hole.
Yeah, I was going to say, who needs to take the tux out? That's fine.
It's the Bond away.
This is what I was kind of jealous of James Bond at this point because I'm just I wish I had that confidence. I'd be super embarrassed if people saw me doing that. You know what I mean? But he's smiling. He's like, yes, I was making out with her.
It's not the first woman that's been on this Ferris wheel with me either.
Right. I was like, I wish I had that confidence.
The old stomping grounds.
Yeah,
Vienna Ferris wheel.
Would have been hilarious if the Ferris wheel operator was like, "Oh, fucking Bond again. He's with another girl too. Son of a bitch."
Yeah, they're always blondes.
Or if he was the predecessor to Dennis Reynolds. He's like, this works because of the implication.
See, you're up very high and there's nowhere for you to go.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
Yeah. He's very innovative, this James Bond.
So also Saunders shows his worth with intel backing up Bond's theory that Koskov is dirty and working with Whitaker. Then, was it Narcos or Necros? I think it's Necros.
I would say Necros.
Yeah. Then Necros kills Saunders with a sliding door.
What awesome kill. I mean, an absolutely phenomenal kill. I don't know how nobody saw him. You would have to like mess around with the mechanics of this door to make it like change, like snap shut like that with a switch of a button. But I don't care.
Yeah.
I put a bomb in there.
He put a bomb in it?
Yeah, he put a bomb that made it like... Yeah, the ricochet made the door. It was just perfect timing.
Oh, it wasn't like he messed with the pistons and stuff like that and made it shut. He just blew up something up and the door closed super fast.
Yeah, like that big piston inertia was going, in and out. That's how the door opened and closed. And he just put a bomb in between the piston, and it apparently shot the door like a fucking gunshot or like a guillotine.
Yeah.
Awesome murder.
Suffice to say, I don't think that physics actually would work out like that, but I don't care.
No.
I'm here for the boobs and for the ridiculous shit.
Also, Timothy Dalton, that was basically a good scene to make him just show him like his range of emotion of being mad, because he looks very angry in that scene.
Yeah, like, and Timothy Dalton's kind of a dick to her at that moment, which I like. Because she was like, "Oh, can't we stay for like a few days?" He's like, "No, we're leaving tomorrow."
You better not poison my drinks. So then this is followed by Bond confronting Pushkin, who tells him that Koskov is dirty. So they stage Pushkin's death with Bond escaping with the help of Felix's CIA call girls.
Oh my God.
To Bond, though. Bond didn't even know that they were... Yeah, okay.
So this is the second distraction of the movie, which made Tim's day.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
You get some nip in this one, too.
You get... That's what I'm saying. You get side boob and nip.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I mean, she's standing there in some nice negligee too. I mean, like she's got, especially, I don't know if this is like, it's something that's just come full circle, but like sometimes the physique of different decades does not match what is considered sexy now. Oof, that worked. She's still looking good.
It definitely. And here's the coup de grace for me. She was scared.
Oh no! Do we want clarification on that, Tim, or should we just let that be?
No, I don't think that needs clarification. That's pretty obvious.
We need to clarify.
It's hot when a woman's afraid of me.
Side
top
boob
off, and she's afraid.
Side boob, nip. She's afraid. I don't understand what the issue is. Let's move on here, Bill.
It's called pheromones, Bill.
This is an absolutely outrageous plan. Again,
yes.
Bond takes such a ridiculous risk to not murder Pushkin here, which is, I mean, I guess the right thing to do, but they couldn't come up with a better plan. Like he couldn't just fake his death in the hotel. Why did they have to do it on like a public stage?
He was assigned to do it at the trade conference. That's why. So the whole thing is M told him he's going to be at this trade conference. You need to kill him there. And then on the other side, Koskov, he's like, I would have my little blonde fuckboy do it, but everybody knows him, so he can't do it. But I still want you to show up in case Bond doesn't do it.
But I mean, Pushkin, when he's in the hotel and Bond has a gun to his head, that's the trade conference. I mean, he's not standing at a podium, but he's at the hotel because the trade conference. Does Bond need to do it in front of an audience to meet like M's like desires here?
I think at this point he already knows that Koskov has set this all up, so he wants Koskov to know that he's dead.
Okay, all right.
It's still really, because you're stretching it there.
He then is on a foot chase away from are they in Morocco or something like that?
Yeah.
Where are they?
I don't fucking
Tangier. Whatever the local police are, and it's very lucky that he gets out of this situation alive. I mean, he's getting fired upon by like 20. It's absurd that everyone missed so many times at like point blank range. Should not have worked.
I think part of it is just this is like a trailer moment when you like that spotlight goes on and he shoots the spotlight out. I feel like that's just like they wanted that just for the trailer because it's a cool looking shot.
It is.
He looks like a badass there.
I love. I couldn't help but mentally comparing to the running across the rooftop scene in this movie to the running across the rooftop scene in the Daniel Craig movie, like where it's like hardcore. They're like unbelievable acrobatics that guy's doing, and then like Timothy Dalton is just like the biggest white dude that can't really run or jump, just barely making these like skips over buildings and stuff.
Dude, this is like, it's just society in general. Like people used to like just a regular cheeseburger back then. Now we have to have like cheeseburgers with like fucking compound butter and bacon and like Gatorade, X Factor on top of it.
Aioli.
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah. That's the fucking Daniel Craig movies are like that version. Well, it's like this is just a regular fucking cheeseburger on a bun with some lettuce and tomatoes.
Running across a rooftop.
Very vanilla.
Yeah.
So back at Kara's hotel, Bond chugs a drugged martini and is captured by Koskov, where they transport him and Kara to a Soviet prison in Afghanistan. He chugged the shit out of that martini.
Yeah.
Yes, he sure
That was
did.
like one sip, like 1 second job.
And she like, it was just so obvious. Like the instant she handed him the martini, is like, oh, that's drugged. Yeah. It's like, it's a pre-made drink. Come on, James. Have you never been roofied? Let's go. Right. Like you of all people should know not to drink a pre-made drink like that. Yeah. And then she doesn't touch it. And yeah, he downs that martini. Yes.
It's like, oh, wow.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. We've all gotten drunk and woken up in Afghanistan a couple times before. I mean, this isn't crazy.
Yeah, this is also the little thing about the diamonds, and it's in like a heart transplant box. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
All
Did they have that? I mean, they were always planning on transporting the diamonds. Was it always going to be in ice? Did they always need a body? Was it James is going to be there? This is very convenient. He had a nice doctor's coat, Koskov, so that's good. I guess they must have been prepared with that heart. It seems weird.
I just think someone worked really hard on that for no reason, and they didn't have the heart to tell him it wasn't necessary. It's like, I think someone on Koskov's team came up like, I have this great hiding place for the diamonds. It's in this weird transplant cooler that I made specifically for this. And they were like, we're just gonna put him in a bag. I mean, they're not looking for him, so it shouldn't be hard to get him past him.
Yeah, we're just going to take this military plane from one station to another. They're not going to check anything. We're Russian.
Right. Oh, well,
Diamonds also aren't illegal, so you can kind of just move them. That's okay too.
Well, I mean, I made this. Worked really hard on it.
Yeah, we just don't really see it really being effective, though.
I mean, can you at least give it a try? I mean, it's like...
All right, fine. Give me the goddamn diamond case.
I missed my kid's soccer game to make this.
I killed a baboon for this.
All right, for it to work, you're going to have to pour ice over it. Jesus Christ, now we got to get fucking ice.
Right.
You also need to use this baboon heart. What the fuck? Why?
It's not a big deal. You stop on the market. Okay, they're in the market. You stop there. You get baboon heart.
So then we get a prison break with the help of another watch made by Q, where Bond also helps the local Mujahideen leader Cameron Shah escape, which leads to Bond and Kara teaming up with the Afghani rebels.
Another movie you guys have covered where the Afghans are the heroes.
Yeah. The last 40 minutes of this movie is just basically Rambo 3.
Yeah. I was going to say, this I was thinking this all the time. I'm like, this is kind of a familiar movie to me.
They did it first, so kudos to them, but still.
I actually think you saw during this movie, like, the Rambo 3 production getting set up in the distance.
Do you think in the next maybe in a year or two there's going to be a movie that highlights how great Ukrainian rebel fighters are, and then in 20 years we're going to look back and while we're in the middle of a war with the Ukraine and be uncomfortable by it?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's probably
Ukrainians are going to like unleash a sarin gas attack in like New York City subways a couple of years from now.
Right.
We should have let the Russians kill them all when they had the chance. Putin was right.
It'll be about something very petty too. You didn't send us the Cheetos we wanted during the war.
I didn't get a Christmas card last year. Yeah. I don't know. How do you guys feel about movies in the desert? I kind of find them boring. From all the locations that do movies, and like especially in this one, like I preferred all the European cities. Like that was cool. Like now we're just in a desert with sand everywhere. Like I'm kind of losing my interest.
I mean, 100% agree with that.
My problem is just the dynamic of like I don't have an issue with the sand, the desert, the cities. My problem is first the outfit. The fact that Timothy Dalton ended the rest of this movie in like the baggy, like weird blue and gray, like didn't look good. I don't know. He looked great in a tuxedo, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
And to have him go through like the end climax scene dressed for like the Middle East just felt silly. And then like the whole thing where like, people on horsebacks are fighting tanks. I don't know. That I lose myself there a little bit. That doesn't work.
Doesn't seem effective.
No, it doesn't seem effective. No.
Also, Dalton gets a lot of action with that tan like rain jacket in this movie too, because every single GIF of Timothy Dalton as James Bond, if you go onto your phone, is like him with that fucking tan jacket in like multiple scenes.
No, I'm with you about the desert though. I'm with you about the desert. It just feels like I think it's a desert. So what are we fighting over? Like I don't understand. You know what I mean? It's like, well, okay, you guys like this. All of a sudden, the consequences are gone. It's like, oh, you guys are fighting over like fucking Prague before, fighting over like the state. You're trying to turn Eastern Europe back into like a democracy. Now we're fighting over fucking like some sand. Come on, guys.
Well, and when there's like car chases and fight scenes happening throughout a city, it feels a little bit more stressful because there's potential for collateral damage, or there's people getting out of the way, and there's things happening that's like outside of this. And like here, it's just like, all right, I don't know, let's just blow some shit up. There are really no consequences, right? Let's just do it. There's a lot of explosions, random gunfire,
My explanation was more racist than offensive, so let's go with that.
All right, I would say keep Tim's take. Yeah,
keep mine in, Max.
I'll delete Bill's, but I'll keep Tim's in.
Keep mine in.
Don't get me started on the Mexicans. Y'all think you're better because you got less sand than those Afghanis? You're wrong. Yeah, so this third act, a little bloated. You got like Soviets trading diamonds for opium that are then getting traded for weapons. Then we've got a 92-pound cello player just stealing a machine gun and riding towards a platoon of tanks on a horse. Got a lot of Russians blown up, a lot of explosions, more explosions. So, should we just get into like the whole plane fight?
Timothy Dalton's plan. I also don't understand this at all. They're putting a bomb into one of the opium bags to presumably blow up all the opium so that they can't get the trade the opium for the guns. Mm-hmm. He gets on the back of the truck and then is surprised that there are people on the back of the truck when they try to leave. So now he's trapped. And like the Kara gets all upset and convinces the Afghanis to go and fight to get Timothy Dalton free. And then he gets into the Russian base and loads the bomb on the back of the plane and only then activates the bomb. So he was always going to have to get onto the base, onto the plane. At what point was he stuck? This had to have been the plan from the get-go. Otherwise, he could have just set the fucking timer when he on the truck and just gotten off, and then that's done. It's done. That's fine.
Yes. I think what happened, Bill, is that was his plan, and then other people got on the truck before he could do it, so he had to revise.
Was that not a really good opportunity to kill Blondie? He's behind him on a truck, completely unaware that he's there.
Yeah, that would have tipped it off, though. They would have stopped all the trucks, and then he would have just got fucking massacred. Just being stuck in the back of an opium truck. It still doesn't make much sense. I mean, the thing that doesn't make sense is that it's fucking Timothy Dalton wearing just covering his lips and nothing else. It's like you can still see his nose and his like piercing green eyes. It's like the dude stands out.
Honestly,
I mean, and like he's holding the opium bag, and the blonde guy like inspects the bag or something like that, and like he's holding it like this. And like his arm is as white as mine.
Yeah, who's this 6'2" white guy with green eyes? That's part of this Afghani Mujahideen crew.
I've figured out what happened.
Okay.
Timothy Dalton took a knife and then took a big lick of that opium before.
That's it.
So I think what ended up happening, Bill, is he just nodded off in the back of that truck.
He went to put the bag in the truck and then he fell over with it.
Yeah. And then he woke up in the plane and he's like, how did I get here?
Oh boy, this wasn't the plan.
Back in Afghanistan.
God, I feel really heavy right now.
I need some more opium.
He takes like a 2-ounce shot of opium too. That's not like a little taste. It's a huge lick of opium that he does. Yeah, just straight up raw, uncut opium.
He didn't like barely touch it to his. Yeah, he licked the entire like length of the knife. Like, ooh, that is. It goes to the other side for seconds.
Maybe I should. Let me just
make sure.
Yeah, they come around. He's just every single bag is punctured. He's just got brown shit all over his face. I was using it as disguise. I think the opium's starting to sink into my pores. I feel great.
They just come around. Well, really, what would happen is he'd be like laying on a couch like this, like one of those like Chinese opium den pictures, where he's just kind of like lounging on a couch.
The names. The fuck's my name? God damn it. Who am I?
Yeah.
Shaken, not stirred.
And he caresses the face.
Stirred. I want to know what it tastes like.
I've never actually had it stirred.
He, like, the blonde guy comes around the corner and finds him, and then James Bond caresses his face and goes, "You're beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful.
You're a beautiful man. Anyone ever told you how beautiful you are?" Yes. All right. Yeah, so Bond, he plants that bomb on the cargo plane, loaded with opium. He's spotted by Koskov, so he takes off after Kara, drives the fucking a stolen Jeep. She steals a Jeep after she steals a horse, whatever. Drives that shit right into a fucking plane. And then we get the fight with Necros and Bond on the back of this plane, which is fucking awesome.
It's a sick fight.
That is an awesome stunt.
A sick fight that was actually made by the girl. Yes. Because they were just going to have a fight in the back of the plane, and then she just like opens the door randomly.
She opens the door because it says down, so she hit the thing thinking that it was going to take the plane down, but instead it just put the hatch down.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing he says to her is just keep it steady. Yeah, when he goes back, and then she opens the cargo hatch, and then she like turns the plane up so everything falls out, and then she turns the plane down. Like, what is she doing?
Listen,
you are making
mountain.
This way worse.
I don't know shit about planes. I don't know how to fly a plane. I don't know what any of the buttons in a plane do. I do know that how you bring a plane down isn't by pressing a button called down. That's not how planes go down. That's not how planes work. I think that's just common knowledge. You don't have to be a fucking aerospace engineer to understand that there isn't a down button in a plane.
Is there a left or right button on your car? No. Yeah. Then why the fuck did you think there's a down button on an airplane?
Right. They needed to have like a scene afterwards where fucking James Bond comes back in the cockpit and it's like, so what happened there? What happened there? Well, I saw a button. It was down, and I thought that was going to bring the plane down. And you decided to like tilt the plane up at a 45-degree angle too after you put the rear hatch down. Well, and she starts explaining it. Cutscene.
Slap.
Yeah, cutscene to him just like throwing her out the back of the plane.
It was a cool scene though, fighting on the cargo net. I like when he crawls up from underneath and punches through the net. Right, that was sick. That was sick.
That was great. But I mean, they're actually like on a plane, like hanging off that thing. Like it's fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Those stunts are incredible.
Wait. Was that 100% real? Into like
parts of it.
Okay.
Like that like the shot of like the faceless stunt doubles who are doing that stuff is, I think that's real, it's fucking amazing. Like that stunt guy almost died doing it.
That's
apparently.
Nuts.
Oh, really?
So, and when he fell off, I mean, that looked like it was real. I'm sure he had like a parachute on, the actual actor or something, but that looked like somebody was actually falling through the sky.
Yeah, that or they might have done some sort of kind of like the same thing like Hans in Die Hard when he falls from the building. It's probably, it's like a 70-foot drop with a green screen under it.
Oh, could be that.
Out of focus. Yeah. Probably something like that.
I do love that he gets rid of Blondie there by cutting off his boot. And like he's cutting each lace off of his boot. Meanwhile, the guy's fingers are literally parallel. You have a knife and you're cutting the shoelaces instead of just stabbing the guy's hand. What are you doing? Keep your boot.
Also, one of the few henchmen that like plead for his life too. Like he does not want to die. Usually these guys are like ready to go. He's like, no.
He says, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
he's like, no, please. And it's like, oh God, he kind of just begged for his life. Usually they just kind of like, angry yell or something. And like, all right, cool, he's dead. Yeah. This guy's like, no, I've got a wife and kids. Please don't.
I have my dance recital next week.
I have to go with my brother to knock over this place called Nakatomi Tower.
Yeah. So then Bond? He's able to disarm the bomb with 1 second to spare. And then they escape the plane via parachute jeep.
Wait a minute. He also throws a bomb at a bridge, out of the moving plane. He throws the bomb at the Russians that are fighting the Afghanis.
That's right.
Yeah, he puts 9 or 10 seconds off, and the woman flies the plane, goes back in a U-turn and flies the plane 100 feet over this bridge, and he throws it out of a moving plane. Hits the guy in the chest, doesn't just get it, literally hits the guy. He's like, oh gosh, what was that? And then boom.
Also, yeah. When that plane explodes too, you guys hear the old school sound effect from the same thing from Skyfall right before it hits the mountain. It's the same. It's the same thing.
Oh, you mean Oh, you mean Goldeneye?
From Goldeneye. Yeah.
What did I say?
Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Oh, I've been drinking. Sorry.
I also do not understand at all how the physics of that car coming out of the plane makes sense. No. But cool. It looked cool. It looked cool.
It had a literal 1 foot landing too. The plane was much higher.
It was it was 500 feet off the ground, and then all of a sudden it's 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah. It's okay. All right. So to wrap up the movie, we go back to Tangier where Bond kills Whitaker with one of his statues, and Pushkin arrests Koskov, who somehow didn't die after a head-on collision with an airplane.
Yeah, right. That's right. The plane that randomly shows up, and he takes a wing, gets decapitated. There's an explosion, and he just like rolls out of the car.
Windshield's still fine. Intact. Everything's still fine. He doesn't have a scratch on him. Fucking airplane blew up, but this guy's fine.
Fascinating.
Honestly, dude, I thought this is when the movie kind of started to get stale for me. I'm like, there's too many boss kills here.
Yeah.
It's like there's fucking 5 bosses you have to kill. It's just like fucking enough.
They could have just cut out the whole Afghanistan third act, honestly. They could have ended the movie at an hour and a half. Like, that would have been fine. Like, you didn't have to stretch this out for 2 hours and 10 minutes with 40 minutes of explosions.
I feel like I say this every episode, but I mean, turn the third act into a porno.
Yeah, just end it with Bond and Kara in the green room, just banging away for 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Perfect.
That's how the movie ends, too. So, I mean, like, Kara, she has a nice little cello solo in London, and then she bangs James Bond in a green room, and the movie ends.
Right.
Such a weird ending.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just some old British guys out in the being like, Kara, thank you, you're very talented. Where's Mr. Bond? Oh, we couldn't make it. Whoops, and now he's inside of you. Oh, cheerio, pip, pip.
I know that familiar sound of flesh on flesh. James must be nearby.
Yeah.
All right. So can somebody explain to me how opium, diamonds, weapons, what was Koskov and Whitaker's? Were they going to just like sell the opium and keep the money and be rich?
They were going to sell the opium, and it was going to be so much money on the market that they would have been able to buy the weapons and then pocket the rest as profit. That was the plan, because it was $500 million in opium.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And it was like $50 million in weapons or something.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It was very confusing. I did not understand how any of it made sense.
Oh, dude, that whole Afghanistan, like, because when Max was going over it, I'm just like, my head was spinning. Then I'm like, but there's also just like 2 Afghani factions there. One of them apparently has no stake in the deal either. I just didn't understand what was going on.
And they would follow a white lady into battle. Like, you got to tell me that this fucking really. Yeah. These guys are good from all the fractions of military people.
Also, why was there like an Afghani person who went to Oxford and had a British accent leading the Mujahideen? What was the deal with that?
Apparently it was ISIS before it became ISIS.
I didn't understand his origins.
I mean, wasn't Bin Laden Oxford educated too?
Was he?
Yeah. Well, he was definitely well educated.
All right. So maybe that rings true.
Yeah, he's just
a
royal
your
family.
face, Bill.
Yeah.
How dare you not give Osama bin Laden his just due?
He worked hard for that education.
Yeah, he worked hard for that education, Bill.
Hot take.
That should be the title of the episode. Osama bin Laden's just due.
Jesus Christ. I'm not going to even search that. I'm going to get on some fucking list. I'm just going to stop searching Osama bin Laden on my phone. Okay. All right, time. You guys want some brief trivia?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The actress who played Kara, she's the granddaughter of an anti-Soviet Georgian general pre the Communist Revolution, which might explain why her accent was so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Georgia, the country.
So
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
The first country Putin invaded.
All right.
Say it again.
She's
Atlanta.
What?
Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah.
The Georgia Generals. Is that like a minor league team?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't remember Georgia becoming communist, but I can see it. It's on its way anyways, right?
Stacey Abrams gets in office, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep letting these black people vote, sure as shit gonna be communist.
Granted, this guy was an anti-Soviet, anti-communist general, but...
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he got exiled. Yep. This is the last Bond to smoke cigarettes.
Gay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brosnan didn't. Yeah. And that's it. There's literally like hundreds of books like made about like the making of these Bond movies. So if you want trivia, just fucking Google James Bond trivia. You'll find it everywhere. There's like hundreds of podcasts dedicated to just Bond movies. So we're not the expert.
I mean, look. See, this is a movie podcast, so I think it's totally. But I just don't understand the love affair with Bond movies. They're
growing on me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because I watched this movie and then I watched like the first 30 minutes of License to Kill afterwards, just because I was just in the mood. The thing that I liked the most about this movie was like the scenes when they're in like hotels or like apartments, just to see like the furniture and the style of the time. Like I liked that shit. Like what was like the high class, like what was the peak of materialism in that era?
You're basically my wife watching Mad Men. You're in it for like the lampshades, the molding, the crown molding around the doors, stuff like that.
I love period pieces. Yeah.
All right.
You run out of shit to watch. That's what you watch it for.
Here's what I'll say about Bond movies. They are like, they're just like the perfect escapism. Like, there's nothing, like, dude, I watched that. What's that fucking movie where that dog movie with Benedict Cumberbatch jerking off in it?
Year of the Dog.
Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog.
Yeah, like, come on. That wasn't a good movie. That was a fucking shit movie. I don't need more depressing shit in my life. I just want James Bond running around, shooting people, fucking smooching ladies. You know what I mean? 2 hours. Great. Yeah, it's great. Like, I don't need Benedict Cumberbatch jerking off, trying to make some statement about how, what being gay was like in the fucking 1850s. Like, shut the fuck up. You up your ass fucking director. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, wow. Tim. A lot of anger there. That's coming from me.
People call us a woke podcast.
I thought The Power of the Dog was a good movie. I will say
I didn't watch it because it looked boring.
It's not very exciting. I also don't think that it's about what it was like to be gay in 1850, but that we can have that discussion when we watch The Power of the Dog in 20 years on the podcast.
When we do our dog theme month. Sorry, go ahead.
The one thing I'll say in favor of the Bond movies, I don't hate them. Like, I finished watching this movie today. I enjoyed it. It's a ride. But at the end of the, I watched it today and I still didn't understand what the bad guys were doing. That's not great. It's the storytelling is always like all over the place. It's ridiculous. It's just, I don't know. I mean,
it's a Saturday afternoon franchise. That's what it is. It's a movie that you watch on the couch sideways and don't really pay attention. You just look at it.
So, but this is the thing, is we kind of all agree that that's what these movies are. So how is it they've lasted for 50, 60 years? They're basically like B action movies, but they dump a shit ton of money into them and they make the money back. Why? They're just consistently okay.
Because that's not what they're about. They're about escapism. They're about like just going on some stupid little romp.
We lost 2 hours. Good. Now I don't have to listen to him come up with some stupid point about escapism, and I can just say, fucking live your lives, people, you fucking losers. Jesus Christ.
But I don't have a life to live.
I can hear you, goddammit.
Oh.
That was just another pregnant pause for effect, Bill.
I can hear you, fuckers.
Oh, good. He's gone, that fucking loser. Jesus Christ. Sick of listening to his stupid answers.
Bill unleashed a lot of anger. He was waiting to. I'm glad you unleashed that. I didn't want you unleashing that onto Sam.
I feel hung better. Up. Yeah, I'll sleep better tonight knowing that I called you a fucking loser.
The funniest thing was that my point was. The funniest thing is that my point before Bill kind of hit it on the head here, before I cut out, was escapism.
I think that might be the title of this episode. It's going to be The Living Daylights Escapism.
No, it is about escapism. That's why they're fucking good. You're just going on a ride. You're going on a romp.
Going on a romp. You're right. You're right.
I mean, part of it, like, they came out in the 60s, so they still have that 60s cheese up to this point. The new ones really don't. The new ones are more like just a modern action movie, but I mean, for the first like 10, 15 years, that's just, have you watched like an action movie from like 1968? It fucking sucks.
No, I guess I can't say that I have. No.
Or like up until Jaws, like all these action, or not even Jaws, Star Wars, because Jaws is slow too. Up until Star Wars, just action movies were just, the pacing was just completely different, and I don't know. I don't think the plots always made perfect sense either.
Well, then James Bond is keeping in pace with that. So, yeah.
All I know is that they make money.
They do, and they come out, and I want to see them. So I can't really, I'm talking my ass here, but I don't know. I watch these movies and I just don't understand it.
I think there's a fundamental there's a difference in people who watch movies. Like, and this might be a fundamental difference between me and you guys. Like, I have no interest in some artistic movie. I have no interest in the art of it. I really don't. the movies that I like are things that like are completely nonsense.
Lethal Weapon.
Exactly, precisely. I want Danny Glover and Mel Gibson fucking running around doing nonsense shit for 2 hours because it just like removes me from anything that makes me feel anything. You know what I mean? I'm trying to feel nothing for 2 hours. Like, I don't like movies that make me feel something. That's exactly that's the last thing I want.
All right.
I don't want some movie that like touches my heartstrings. Fuck that shit. Nonsense. That's not what I'm looking for.
Adrenaline is the only thing Tim wants from a movie, or a boner.
Adrenaline, bullets, and boobs.
It's not even adrenaline. It's just something that I can just like put on and then almost tune out. Like I don't get an adrenaline rush when like Danny Glover and Mel Gibson shoots. I'm like, yeah, they're shooting somebody. Great. It's predictable. I know exactly what's going to happen next. That's what I'm looking for.
Also,
like people make fun of Law and Order. They're like, how do people watch Law and Order? It's like a procedural show. You know exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, the first suspect is not going to be the killer. They got to come back around to him, though.
Yeah, it's like, I want to know exactly what's going to happen in the show. I don't want anything remotely in terms of like artistic or good writing. I don't want that.
And Tim is the majority of movie audiences.
Well, yes. I mean, there was something, I can't remember what it was, but there was something that I was reading that like people tend to like to go back to movies and shows that they've watched before because there's a comfort in knowing what's going to happen. And that makes sense for formulaic movies and formulaic shows. It maybe isn't something you've seen, but like you basically know what's going to happen. So it makes it easy to sit and enjoy.
Yeah. Low risk.
Yeah. That's a fair. The Power of the Dog, and like to bring that back in, is very much not a formulaic movie. Like it's very confusing in terms of like what is the story that they're telling, what is like the point, the plot, and it was very stressful for that reason. They had very, very stressful music, and it felt like tense, edge of your seat the entire time watching it because you're like, what the fuck is happening here? Because it wasn't a typical story, and so it makes sense that you didn't like it, Tim.
I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? Enough. Like I have enough anxiety, enough depression in my own life. I don't need to like import more. You know?
When am I going to see this goddamn dog? I thought this was a dog movie.
I thought it was going to have like Marvel superpowers kind of thing. The power of the dog. What is the power of the dog?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Clifford.
Well, to be honest, what I thought it was going to be like, and I don't know why I thought this. It's a movie nominated for an Oscar, so you know it's going to be artsy as fuck. But you know, I wanted it to be like a John Wayne, like "What's up, Pilgrim?" You know, I'm going to shoot these Indians. Good stuff like that.
You know? Simpler times.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the box office game. How much does this movie cost? How much did it make?
Man, 1987 though. Money's not real, so I don't know. I'm gonna say this costs like $130 million to make, and it made $360 million.
No, this movie cost $50 million to make, and it made $120 million.
Timmy was closer. It cost 40.
What?
Movies didn't cost that much back then.
Jesus Christ. They were fucking... Oh, go ahead.
I think like Jurassic Park cost like $60 million to make.
Did it really?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah, so it cost $40 million, and it made $191 million.
Wow. Tim. You cheated, Tim. You fucking cheated. I know you did.
That's something you can be sure I did not do. Me do research? You take notes.
What, you think I'm going to admit that I lost legitimately? You fucking cheated. That's the end of it.
Cheated! Yeah, so in the United States, it premiered on the weekend of July 31st, 1987, finishing number one at the box office for the first 2 weeks. Any guess what movie kicked it out of the top spot in week 3? Probably
Indiana
not.
Jones. No.
Nope.
Grease.
No, Bill. Not Grease.
What was it?
Tim, any guesses?
What movie? This was in 1986, right?
87.
87.
The summer of 87.
Roadhouse.
Ooh, that would have been a good one. It was Stakeout, starring Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez.
Oh, boy.
Yes. I've seen that movie for sure. I've heard of it. Absolutely.
They had another one called Another Stakeout. And they brought in Rosie O'Donnell for that one.
Oh, boy. That sounds like a good pair of a movie for us to watch at some point. Back to back.
See, guys? These are the movies I like. Richard Dreyfuss, Emilio Estevez, and some fucking Jabba the Hutt woman. That's what I want.
Kicking Bond out of the top spot.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Who's your favorite and least favorite in this?
Well, pretty obvious for me. Side boob and nipple. My favorite. Least favorite. I don't know. I'd say least favorite. I'm going to go with just the desert.
It was a character in the movie.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I'm going to go least favorite first and say that it's 004. That fucking weak rock wall scene. And, I'm going to give my favorite to Desmond Llewellyn as Q, reading his own lines. He really won me over.
Good for him. Good job, Q.
You
memorizing your lines as an actor. Well done. Well done, Q.
You earned that favorite character of this movie for a podcast that doesn't matter.
So my favorite's going to be the ass-kicking butler with the old man strength.
Mm-hmm.
He really stood out in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And my least favorite's going to be the parrot. Being fucking useless. You cannot devote an entire camera frame to a parrot at least 3 times with just zero payoff.
Yeah. Parrot has no role in this movie whatsoever. No.
Mm-mm.
Except for looking sexy.
Mm-hmm. Except just looking like a parrot.
You know who also had some old man strength or fat man strength going on was that random Russian guard who overcame the stun gas.
Yeah.
He got it straight to the face. The one-liner guy? He got it straight to the face and then immediately started kicking James Bond's ass.
Well, it brought back in that line where whatever Q was like, we'll knock out any normal man, 30 seconds. And James Bond was like, you don't meet too many normal people in this line of business.
Yeah, right.
Line of work.
No. The fucking the one-liner comedian in an Afghani prison.
Yeah.
The guy was just ripping off jokes. The guy he spoke in jokes. I don't think he said anything that wasn't with a punchline at the end of it.
Right. Yeah.
God, that would get old real fast.
It's been a long time since I had a woman prisoner.
You're dying tomorrow.
He might as well had the Comedy Cellar background pushed around behind him. Jerry said, "What's the deal with not having women prisoners?" It's like I don't have one, and now I do.
All right. Time for the Hold My Popcorn ratings. Prepare to be judged. What's your rating for the Living Daylights? Living Daylights.
I'm going to give this movie, in honor of Bill, maximum escapism. That's my rating.
In honor, I'm going to give my rating in honor of Tim. This gets nip inside boobs out of a PG rating.
Oots, 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 oots.
Pretty good. That's what it's rated. It's rated pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna tack on to that there too. I'm gonna give a 1 Soviet side boob out of 1 death by Soviet smush smush.
Forgot about her already. Amazing scene. So good.
Wonderful.
You know what? I want to take it back. Q, you lost your rating. The giantess who did the motorboating is my favorite character.
That motorboating son of a bitch.
Sorry, Desmond. You got fucked on this one. Better luck next time. Next movie, maybe you'll get it.
So he'll be back. He'll be back next time with Roger Moore in 1973. He might look younger this time around. We'll never know.
Probably
we'll see.
not.
Probably not. Yeah, what if it's exactly the same? reading cue cards. Like, why the fuck was this guy in movies for 30 years? He was a Nazi POW, guys. Just let him be. All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Oh, I think congratulations are in order to our friend Pike Rebel.
Yeah,
and his new fiance, Herschel Meep.
I think it's pronounced
Meep. 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 Who just got engaged. So congratulations to those two, who are definitely not prominent figures of the law. Definitely not. Those are because that would be inappropriate for them to be on such a terrible mention on such a terrible podcast.
Yeah, he was originally going to be on for the show too. He was down for it, but I guess he's at an event tonight, so he could not attend. But
I see.
That event is him playing Mario Kart on N64.
That event is him sleeping, drinking beer.
He's like, hey, listen, the pizza place down the street, they put a new pizza on the menu, so my night is booked.
But I do have some commentary from Prubble. He said, a good Bond. Shame he only had 2 movies.
Yeah. It's a shame to hear, too, that the second one kind of sucks, because I did enjoy Timothy Dalton. I'll say, too, I didn't mention this earlier, but I've never seen him in anything. The only other role I've ever seen Timothy Dalton in is in like the kind of recent revival of Doctor Who. In like the early mid 2000s, he played Time Lord, like the president or the ruler of Gallifrey, and like kind of was like an asshole. So like for the first half of this movie, I couldn't get it out of my head that he's like a bad guy Time Lord, because it's the only thing I've ever seen him in. And like I knew when he played that role that he was supposed to be a famous actor, and it was like a big deal that he was like the reveal. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Like,
yeah, big Brit.
He was James Bond. Okay, cool.
He's only big in Britain though.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. Was great in Doom Patrol, which is on HBO. Like I loved him in that show, so I was excited to watch this one because of that. But I mean, he was also in Flash Gordon in like 1980. He's the hedgehog in all the Toy Story movies, like the very proper British hedgehog.
Is he really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
And he does like all the shorts and everything too. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yep. Hot Fuzz, as Tim mentioned. That's about it, though. Yeah, he hasn't really. I mean, you look at his credits; it's just a bunch of just irrelevant movies, like really bad posters. Like, just looks like a bunch of shit that's like made for TV.
He probably is like some. He probably does a lot of like theater.
I think, yeah, he's a theater
does
guy.
Movies to pay the bills.
You have to be a theater guy if you turn down James Bond like 18 times.
Right.
It's like you don't want to be the most famous person in the world and be the highest paid actor because you don't think it's appropriate for your age to be that character.
Right.
You know you're a pro when that's the case.
No, I want to do an off-Broadway production of Hamlet.
his
Shakespeare in a park.
His character's name from Toy Story is Mr. Pricklepants.
Mr.
So good.
Pants. Oh, that's good. All right, well, if that's it, check out our stickers. They're still there. Nobody's buying them.
Has there not been a single purchase of stickers?
Oh, no, there's been several purchases.
All right.
By me.
I need to buy a few. I want to buy a few.
Guerrilla marketing. Just stick them everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I'll start putting them on gas pumps next to the...
next to the price? In front of the price?
next to the Joe Biden stickers saying I did that.
It's a good idea.
I was up at my dad's this weekend, and I was commenting about, you know how these like all these outdoor companies like Yeti and shit. It's like everyone has a fucking Yeti sticker on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like everyone has stickers. So I was like, I want to start like a ironic sticker company. You know, kind of like a subversive sticker company for like people who don't like the stickers. And like I want to start making stickers that like, you know, say like pedophile You know,
child killer,
yeah, like transferred priest or something.
Abortionist.
Yeah. So like, you know, you can start sticking them on plate, and people are like, oh.
Yuck.
But like stick them on places that people normally would stick them on. You know, like the Thule equipment things on the top of cars and stuff like that. Like how everyone has like stickers, all the national parks they went to. Fuck you, man. You know.
Pedophile.
You're a pedophile.
Yeah. Pedophile.
26.2. Right next to that is pedophile.
Yeah. And I kind of think Hold My Popcorn stickers would fit this bill.
Yep, so buy those stickers at redbubble.com.
Stick them right next to your pedophile sticker.
We're next to your back alley abortionist sticker. You want to get put on a watch list? Go to redbubble.com and search Hold My Popcorn. Promo code popcorn.
Promo code popcorn. Second
promo code pedophile 20.
Right.
You're gonna get an email from someone and be like, I kept putting in the promo code, nothing came up.
Yeah, then the cops just showed up at my house and asked for my laptop.
People who purchased this sticker also purchased Men Who Love Young Boys and pedophile. Yeah.
People who purchase this sticker also get a free. They get a free subscription to Matt Gates's dinner club.
The Harvey Weinstein fan club. Similar searches have found. Self-castration, manual castration, friend castration.
Prison.
Just prison. All right, that's it. Listen to us next time.
Rate and review.
Rate and review. If you, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Forget it. Nope. Just rate and review.
Rate and review.
I was going to say the first 5 people that write down pedophile in the comment box and the review's got a free sticker, but don't do that.
Nope. You and I think that's a bad idea.
If me and Tim think it's a bad idea, it's probably a bad idea.
It's probably a very bad idea. Yeah.
Yep.
Old Pike Barber will be running away from this podcast.
A resident lawyer is going to be suing us.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Are we leaving?
I'm going to stop recording.
Oh, right.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording too.
Yeah.
Stop.
And stop.